Greetings, Helldivers. Ervin here with an update on the 60-day plan. As it turns out, Arrowhead didn't really check when 60 days would be up and accidentally plotted out the final day to be on a weekend when they aren't actually in the office. Rather than breaking the game while you're still enjoying it with no ability to fix it, we've been told via the short that dropped today we can expect the final update in the plan to be on the 15th of this month. Within that short, we were told about many new upcoming changes and features for the game. But more importantly than that, the wording and the way the short was pieced together, along with some blurry notes, have actually revealed much more than that. So let's talk about everything new coming in the next patch.
You don't want to finish too fast.
No, and I know all about that.
First, we have new modular ammo types for weapons being finally integrated. I talked about new ammo types in my video on the upcoming completion of the DSS, but didn't expect this feature to begin implementation so soon. The autocannon is apparently getting the option of flak rounds, however, this was not worded in the same way as the other modular weapons were, instead sounding like a potential change to the weapon in general and not so much an option. Hopefully, this is an option and not a full rework, however, as while flak is an interesting concept for this weapon functionally changing the autocannon into what everyone expected the airburst launcher to be, spraying shrapnel across a large area more ideal for airborne and chaff targets, this is likely to come at the cost of its armor penetration level and direct raw damage when swapping to this ammo type. I could always be wrong and the autocannon maintains AP4 with these new flak rounds, but I find that unlikely. To me, this doesn't sound like a positive change for a weapon overall, especially with my favorite use for it being its capability to two-shot gunship thrusters while being a functional devastator and hull cancer. I have a feeling at least 2 out of 3 of those use cases would be, at the very least, consistently worse should it be turned into what is essentially a larger version of the Eruptor with more ammo. Flak rounds would, of course, be a much more useful addition against the Terminid swarms and Shrieker patrols, but I can't say that's where I prefer my autocannon personally, so here's hoping the flak rounds are an optional ammo type similar to what we're going to be talking about next. Now, a big credit to the idea of the flak ammo on the autocannon being a programmable ammo is Pilestead later saying the Recoilless rifle will also be receiving programmable ammo. This is important because this short is derived from a longer video and simply cut into pieces stuck together at random, meaning other weapons will also be receiving the same programmable ammo feature, meaning not only is the autocannon likely safe, but I have something much more interesting to show you as a result. Before we get into that, though, the Recoilless rifle's programmable ammo includes radiation shells, an ammo type not yet seen in the Helldivers universe that causes effects very similar to what gas used to do. The radiation shells cause a damage over time and slowing effect that also seems to throw off the enemy's aim. This likely comes with a negative to the damage done by the rocket, but with how overkill the damage is for most targets, this is likely to be an overall benefit in most use cases, assuming it doesn't somehow fall below the Bile Titan breakpoint for headshots when it comes to the bugs. On the bots, however, you're likely to want to stick with your standard ammunition, as the Factory Strider in particular does require the full force of the Recoilless for one-shot kills outside of the belly rub weak spot. We also have every reason to believe these ammo types will extend to effects such as stun, burning, and gas in the future, although the Recoilless rifle is definitely not the weapon that excites me when it comes to additional ammo options such as stun, simply because it's already one-shotting my target anyway. No, what's far more exciting is we are extremely likely to see the programmable ammo feature available to the grenade launcher. We've had incendiary grenades and stun grenades confirmed through leaks so far, with the incendiary ammo seemingly maintaining its ability to destroy bug holes as well. When it comes to chaff clearing capability, the incendiary ammo variant for the grenade launcher is going to be a strict upgrade on the Terminid front, making it a stronger option for those of you that like to forget you have a primary weapon and just nade away the bugs. The stun nades for the grenade launcher will functionally replace any hope the sterilizer had of relevancy, as this will be a true crowd control focused support option with very few limitations, clear use cases, and reliability the sterilizer could never hope to match. Somehow they just keep kicking this poor thing while it's down, and honestly, I'm here for it. A stun grenade launcher is going to fit nicely into any coordinated squad focused on team play with its immaculate crowd control capability, able to lock down all but the heaviest of enemies near infinitely for your teammates to clean them up while running the supply pack. Gas rounds are likely as well, which would functionally just be a direct upgrade from the current sterilizer, so here's hoping that thing starts spitting out fat clouds this patch with a buff as well. Now, as far as what ammo would be the most useful, I'd argue gas rounds would be best against Terminids, while stun rounds would be best against the Automatons, simply because you are likely to stack damage over time effects with fire against bugs, and the reliability of the gases crowd control are not so easily called into question the way they are on the Automatons, where they still have the capability to shoot you anyway. When facing off against the Clankers, hard stuns are going to be a much better option for this simple reason. I can't wait to try out the grenade launcher with programmable ammo, but maybe more exciting than that is the fact that I've talked about the system in another previous video already. During this video, with the link on screen and in the description on features I felt were likely to come for Liberty Day, I also talk about the upcoming programmable ballistic SMG and assault rifle ammo. So be sure to check out that video after this one if you want to know more about what might be coming up as early as the 15th. Back to what we were told in the short for a minute, the Plas 1 Scorcher was originally the best bot stomper in the entire game on launch back when we only had the first two war bonds. It was a weapon of prestige everyone was excited to get their hands on. There was even a moment I feared this weapon would be nerfed, but in a circumvention of those expectations, that same patch had the Jar 5 buffed all the way to 300 damage, completely throwing out my understanding of what Arrowhead had previously felt was an overperforming primary. After that patch, with many other weapons being introduced, buffed, and so on, the Plasma Scorcher is no longer the powerhouse it once was. While it's received no changes, other weapons have become much more potent than it ever was, while our enemies have continued to escalate in number and variety. To this end, Arrowhead is buffing the Scorcher with automatic fire and a larger magazine, likely 20 to 30 rounds. Better fire rate and ammo will definitely make the Scorcher much more worthwhile than it was previously, and will also likely be making just about every assault rifle in the game jealous that doesn't start with the letter T. Now, this was likely to accommodate the Purifier buff that was promised, which is going to be seeing an improvement to its charging speed, while also being able to finally overcharge similar to a primary railgun for bigger damage and likely higher penetration. It probably shouldn't have taken them this long to make this change, as it's likely seemed like an obvious one for anyone that's held this weapon, but we're happy to finally receive it all the same. We are also expecting some form of buffs for the jump pack this patch. In the notes we've been able to make out through squinting that it'll be receiving a higher jump and better forward momentum, making its performance more consistent at least. Next, we have, through our technological advancements in the field of science, combined with the abilities of the Ministry of Truth, determined what the notes held within their hands during the shorts say. And by that I mean we once again got hundreds of nerds on a document together, squinting at the text until it made sense. This has given us a host of new fixes on priority issues. Some of the most important being enemy patrols will be relaxed after clearing the map, not increased, allowing Helldivers to more easily explore and collect samples should they have put in the work to clear it out, which, although will reduce the challenge, just makes sense. Why are more patrols than ever swarming in from nowhere space to investigate the now barren wasteland? Less oppressive and less unending in nature. And speaking of unending nature, the bug preventing spawns being fluid during eradicate missions will be fixed on the 15th. This was an annoying bug that was around when the game first released that made a return sometime last month, and has been an annoyance ever since then, as it made the mission incredibly boring even though it was still completable on difficulty 10. On lower difficulties, however, Helldivers were having serious issues completing the mission, as there simply wasn't enough enemies before time was up. For those of you still struggling with this bug on the medium difficulties, I have a tip to slide your way before the patch drops. Mines and support weapons count as enemies towards the kill counter, so bring loads of mines and supply drop style weaponry in order to ensure a successful mission. Fight bugs with bugs, and you're welcome. Something I feel is likely the most important fix on this list, however, is a fix for the automaton wall hacks. Automatons will no longer wallbang you and will move in less predictable line patterns directly towards you. The laser weapons of the automatons will also need to be reloaded after this patch, and the speed at which they heat up will be affected by whether the planet is hot or cold, making them more oppressive with longer firing cycles on cold planets, and less oppressive when being taken on during desert operations. Overall, these changes are likely to improve the feel of taking on lasers, but there is no mention within what we can see as to whether or not the glass divers issues have been addressed. For that, we'll just have to wait and see. A miscellaneous fix will be seeing the heavy gas armor no longer able to reduce damage to 0 from gas, in similar fashion to what they did to the normal heavy armor, as they seem to really hate the idea of us being able to do this, despite it being largely a meme for fun strategy. Not sure why they bothered fixing this, as it really isn't overpowered at all, but I guess they want to remain consistent about it. You'll be able to stow your guard dog away to save its ammunition or sneak by something now by using the backpack hotkey. However, this also means they've finally fixed the laser guard dog having infinite ammo, similar to how automatons will now need to reload, is what I'm thinking. It's been in the known issues for a long time now, and it might finally be about time for Arrowhead to pull the plug on Laser Buddy's arc reactor.
You had one last golden egg to give.
On a highlight, however, the Ballistic Guard Dog is having its AP increased to 3 or medium penetration, also insinuating the basic Liberator of all things will also be receiving the same feature, if not just through ammo customization, due to them being one and the same. That was about all we could make out from the notes this time with our cutting edge technology, as the rest was basically just pixels. But similar to the last patch, you should watch for new shorts from the devs each day divulging yet more of the notes and building hype for the patch. I'd also like to shout out Iron Fox in my Discord, as he likely squinted the hardest out of all of us and even compiled the document after doing so for our convenience. We have discussions like this, Galactic War Planning, and an LFG channel all available there, so be sure to join us if that all sounds interesting to you. It also goes without saying that Ghost Divers will be one of the biggest and most successful platoons upon the system going live, and we'd love to have yet more members ready to join the cause. If you're looking for more under the hood upcoming features, also be sure to pay a visit to the Helldivers Leaks Reddit, as the fine folks over there have been doing a lot of good work for the community on revealing upcoming features. Thanks for watching till the end, and have yourselves a wonderful day. I'll see you next time. Think about it like this: no matter what, something clippable is happening.
This is true. Set that robots. No, I got the head.
It was mortar. It was. Yeah! Yes!
That is the world record.
That is
for
world record.